I'm here along Serangoon Road, and today we are following the greatest foodie YouTuber of all time, the OG, the full-time eater, Wiens, in search of the best food trail. I don't like to flex on this channel, but I will make an exception today by saying I am one of Wiens' first 200,000 subscribers. I have been watching his videos for 10 years now, all the way back since 2015 when he was still only covering Bangkok. Today, Wiens is undoubtedly one of the biggest foodies in the world, and it's so weird to only now hear the rest of the world ask the questions I had a decade ago. Why is it that Wiens finds everything nice? Is it really that nice? Or is it only delicious when he does the head sway? Let's find out! For today's food trail, I have chosen 3 places from Wiens' most viewed videos about Singapore. And to start us off, we have Azmi Restaurant, one of Singapore's best known restaurants for chapati. Chapati is a type of flatbread made with whole wheat flour or atta, water, salt and ghee. The dough is mixed, divided and then rolled into thin discs before being cooked on a griddle or tava. But more importantly, it is the ultimate vessel for the multitude of flavors you can find in Indian cuisine. I cannot wait to get started on today's food trail. Let's get it, guys. Here. 2. Yeah. Mutton keema. And then the chicken. And this one also. Lady finger, yeah. Okay. Thank you. So we got a lot of things to go with our chapati. We got chickpeas, we got mutton keema, we got fried chicken, we got lady's finger. I don't know how much each individual item is, and I'm a bit shy to ask, but everything is 1440. You're supposed to just pull and tear the chapati like this. Please forgive my technique. Try a bit as is. Oh, very hearty. Try a little bit of the chickpeas. Ooh, sheesh. Indian cuisine just understands flavor so well. I'm struggling because there is so much going on with their mutton keema. Perhaps the most impressive thing is how the off smell of mutton is supported so well. You have quite a bit of potato and chickpeas in the keema, cooked until super soft, and what it does is that it creates that kind of volume for the flavor to go, and also makes it easier to pick up with the chapati. The whole keema just tastes so cohesive and muttony. And then coming back to the off smell, only a streak of that scent comes through, and at the same time dressed up so well by the spices and the oil. In a lot of curries, what they strive to do is to suppress the mutton off smell. But then what's the point of eating a mutton curry if you don't want a mutton smell? The goal should be to use spices to accompany it, such that it's still front and center, but not obnoxious. And you would think that's the end of the flavor. But then there's another layer that they add using yogurt, I think. The curry, despite its color, right, is still so light. And the spiciness is the friendliest spiciness I've ever experienced. All that flavor, all that layers, paired up with freshly made chapati, warm to the touch, and you just scoop it up like that. Oh my goodness. There's so much happening between these two that the rest of the things are not very important. You have a fried chicken that has coloring in it. It's nice, but it's just a fried chicken. You have lady's fingers that somehow the skin is a bit leathery and tough. Not my favorite. You have the chickpeas, which are like the mutton keema in a lot of ways, but personally I prefer the mutton. And then you have some raw cucumbers and onions, in case any flavors gets too overwhelming. These kind of dishes really showcase the wisdom of Indian cuisine. It may be a household dish to them, right? But I think if you count the number of ingredients, including the garam masala, I think easily over 30 ingredients. I'm trying to taste the layers, right, but it's impossible. It's like trying to see patterns in a kaleidoscope. Oh, for those of you who don't know, garam masala is a spice blend. Eating this is making me wonder, why am I eating prata with the basic house curries? This is like the premium version of it, but with a less oily flatbread. Okay, all done. What a great start. Let's move on to the next stop. 这个沙爹 Beehoon 中了吃。
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. We are now at Redhill Market, and this is the quintessential Singaporean experience right here. Stalls selling previous gen electronics, things that people now buy online, bed sheets. There are always places selling bed sheets, and satay Beehoon. This is an SSR pull in today's hawker culture. Maybe in 5 years, every satay Beehoon will be a 3 plates because there won't be many satay Beehoons around. And having made satay sauce twice, I have a lot of respect for the satay sauce. I'm not sure how many people know how hard it is to make satay sauce. To give a little bit of perspective, you have to boil peanuts until they melt. That's why satay sauce have this incredibly delicious body to it. The bits of peanuts that you can see is added later to give texture. And what's more is we have something even rarer, Teochew style. We have cuttlefish, we have pig liver, which before even trying I can see how well this is cooked. You can see how much it bends, how soft it is. We got pork, we got kangkong. I haven't had satay Beehoon for so long, I'm so excited. What a flavor! The peanut sauce is so layered, so thick, so satisfying. You can see the viscosity of it, how even though it's layered on the Beehoon, it does not seep through until you mix it. It binds to each other almost like a blanket. And because of that, you can control how you want to mix the Beehoon with the sauce. And another hit is how they nailed every texture on the plate. They blanched the Beehoon just right, biting through almost feels like strumming a guitar. The cuttlefish had enough time, cooked until tender, and on the other hand, the pig liver cooked just right, 7 seconds maybe, such that it's still tender. By the way, pig liver, how dare you? The tau pork, the kangkong, the pork, just right as well. They even have cockles, although these are really small. And together, the combination of it, like the ingredients that I just named, what a flavor, how daring it is to cover these pretty strong ingredients with satay sauce. What a dish. Which leads me to the missus. This flavor is not for everybody. Like the things that I just named, cockles, pig liver, cuttlefish, kangkong. Chances are you watching this dislike at least one of them. And then to cover that with a fatty peanut sauce is really cooking for a certain palate. On top of that, there is also a persistent bitterness throughout the dish. I cannot really identify where it comes from, but if I were to guess, I think they burned the satay sauce a little bit today. You can see in the remnants of the satay sauce, there are burnt bits. I made this mistake before with my rendang, where I just forgot to stir it for one round and the bottom burnt. So I'm guessing something similar happened here, which is one of the key reasons why satay sauce is so hard to make. The sauce is so heavy that most of it is peanuts and there's lesser moisture, so you need to stir it over a very, very long period of time for the peanuts to properly break down. But still, what a dish. Okay, time for our third and final place. We are now in Huat Live Seafood in Clementi. Mark Wiens visited this place in his chili crab video, but I don't want to eat chili crab anymore. I've never been so disinterested in a dish, but something else interests me in the video, which is Huat's golden sauce chili crab. So we're going for that today.
Lankan crab, sir, per kilo 128.
1 kilo, 128, okay.
Smallest is 1 kilo, but this crab normally,
Yeah.
the live and fresh,
Yeah.
but the shell bigger, the
Yeah.
meat a bit smaller, not 100% guarantee.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But we go by weight now.
Yeah.
You want smaller or slightly bigger?
A smaller one, 1 kilo enough already.
1 kilo.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, sure. Thank you. Yeah. This took quite a while to come. I want to say like 25 minutes, but we don't have an allocated time slot. Very petty, Eldrick. And wow, what a good looking sauce. Even before tasting it, like the consistency of it, sheesh. We also got fried mantou and steamed mantou, way bigger than the usual kind. Anyway, let's get into it. Oh my god, that was a journey. Incredible sauce, worthy of being called their signature. So this is a pumpkin-based sauce, but I'll describe the flavor profile as closer to salted egg. In fact, there might be a little bit of salted egg inside, or it might just be the curry leaves and the chili padi making me imagine it by association. And then it uses the pumpkin to give it such body, such creaminess. Like, look at the finish and color of it. And that thickness of pumpkin just makes it so satisfying. And on top of that, this took me by surprise. I was transported to the cinema for a moment. Not because this is absolute cinema, but that they included nacho cheese in this. And that adds a welcome rush of tastiness, because the pumpkin just gives the dish more room, sort of blends everything out. I also want to note that the sauce is quite well made. Very little breaking just around the edges. If not, the consistency is really nice. And then the crab. I mean, we just saw the crab, so I think it's very fresh. And one more hit about the crab is that they actually deep fry it first with a little bit of a batter, I believe. I'm not sure if you can see on the outside with the sauce covering it, but this crab has been deep fried just gently. It gives the legs a nice crunchy texture and improves the aroma of the head. But if I were to be very strict, I don't think the quality of the crab is as good as Jumbo's. The texture of this crab is great, but the sweetness is not as sweet as Jumbo's. And then the second and perhaps bigger miss is that this place is not as specialized in terms of being a crab eating place. They do not serve any of the things that you will need to eat crab. Not the nutcracker, not the pig, not even an extra plate to put your shell. Even when I asked for serviettes, right, they serve me this. I'm not sure why doesn't the restaurant have like their own tissue. I mean, this does the job, but like if your hands are dirty and you have to pry open this, right, it's not very fun. Most of the crab you can use the hand to pry apart, because this shell is thinner and they semi broke it for you already. But there are parts like the limb towards the pincer. You will still need the nutcracker for this. I had to use my teeth, which was slightly unpleasant. Nevertheless, still a great crab dish. But now, it's time to face the music. I'll see you guys at the cafe. We are now at Monday Coffee Bar, and I got myself an iced butterscotch coffee shake. Fancy. Anyway, recap. I might be glazing the chapati place. I have a very good feeling that a lot of chapati restaurants might be able to match this, but I still like it very much. The praises might be for Indian cuisine as a whole, as compared to chapati in this specific place. And some people might find the spice usage in Indian cuisine too much, which can be the case sometimes. But personally, I think Azmi Restaurant is bang on. And then to the satay Beehoon. I'm willing to gamble, right, that if I go back there tomorrow, the satay Beehoon wouldn't be bitter. I really think it's a one-off. Because Baki has been well known for a very long time. It's one of those stores that have every accolade from old media to new media. But I can only comment on what I tasted, so it's unfortunate. And again, it's meant for specific palates. My kind of palate. And then lastly to Huat Seafood, I got two things I want to say. First is that I'm sorry. I am very willing to admit when I got something wrong. So I'm sorry to Jumbo Seafood. Jumbo is not expensive. It is just that this is the market rate of crab. The crab just now was like 20 to 30% more expensive than Jumbo's, despite being not as sweet. And thankfully, many of you have also told me that you should expect to pay about 80-90 per kg even at zi chas. Which leads to the second thing I want to say. I guess I am a crab hater. Sign me up, put my name down, enroll me in the guild. I don't see it. The price that I paid for one crab, I could have gotten a salted egg chicken, I could have gotten a sambal kangkong, plus maybe a coffee spare ribs, maybe an egg, one rice, and still have change for ice cream later. All for what? All for one crab? Like today's one crab is more expensive than my entire meal at Yi by Jerim Leong. How? I think the market is overrating crabs. Demand is too high, which pushes the price higher. I shall start trying to de-influence people to eat crab, starting from now. 1 plate I'll walk for the dish, 2 plates I'll take a bus for the dish, and 3 plates I'll go anywhere in Singapore for the dish. And today's food trail is 322. I'm sure you all realize by now, the ratings in this series aren't gonna be as accurate as a proper best series. because there's no chance for moderation or comparison across dishes. If I went to 3 more chapati restaurants, maybe Azmi will get a 2. If I revisit Baki, maybe they'll get a 3. But no way a crab place is getting 3. Can I start being a hater? Will you all join the crab hating guild? Let me know. But for now, that's all I have for you guys this time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!